But I'm actually reading three books right now. One is Fulfillment of All Desire by Ralph Martin. And so I probably read that maybe 4 or 5 times, and I'm just going through it again because it's so rich and so deep. And every time I go through it, it's like another visit to, even if just a small little chunk, it's like I'm visiting my spiritual director again, because I would say it's possibly the best book on the interior life and the development of the interior life that I've ever read in one volume. The other book is a book on hell by Anthony Destefano.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever?
I haven't read it. I've picked up a copy.
So he has a travel guide to heaven, and it was great. I loved it. And
I did too. And I was afraid that I might like the book on hell, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's reading through it is every page is an examination of conscience, where it's just this gut check of, wow, am I choosing hell? Am I choosing to put impediments between me and God? Am I actually, this place I'm reading about, am I choosing it? And it's so good. I love this book on heaven, but this book on hell is really good as an examination. And the third book is, I just finished it yesterday, is, again, I've read it 3 times. I keep going back to some of these sources because they're so good. Colleen Carroll Campbell has a book called The Heart of Perfection. And she kind of chronicles her experience of perfectionism and this kind of hard-charging, driving, working mom, and then also how she brought that into her own spiritual life. And like following the Lord is, I got to get this done, I got to be perfect. And it's how the saints helped me give up perfection and instead choose the heart of Jesus. And it's just this, it's so good. And so when I read it, that one is helpful for me, but I'm not necessarily a perfectionist. I minister to perfectionists. And so it's one of those situations where I just think, this is good. It is good for me, but it's just good for that snapshot into people who are just ground down by, they're racing after the Lord and they're trying their best, but they're just ground down by that. And it breaks my heart, but also she gives some solutions from the wisdom of the saints. And it's just a great book.
Beautiful. Let me backtrack just for a second, because The Fulfillment of All Desire by Ralph Martin is destined to become a classic, almost like no other book from our generation.
Yeah.
We, I must admit, are the proud publishers of that here at the St. Paul Center, Emmaus Road. But also, my youngest...
that wasn't even a paid promotion.
No.
Right? I didn't even know that.
Our guardian angels conspire. Yes. But, my youngest son has gone back to that again. He just graduated from the university earlier this year in May. And I see him reading it. I know that he has read it. And he has read that, I think, more than any other book. And Dr. Ralph Martin has been a friend of ours for 30 years. He just published another book with us called Church in Crisis, Pathways Forward, which is also a masterpiece. But my daughter, I only have one of them. I've got 5 sons and 1 daughter, 1 rose, 5 thorns. She's also found that book to be life-changing, in the sense that I think she was reading it during the height of the pandemic and just finding light in the darkness and encouragement and hope and comfort. And once again, I get a sense. I've read it, and I've read it a second and a third time, and he has come and done teaching here. But sometimes I love books more easily than I should. And I just recommend them, and people are like, it was pretty good. But it's so confirming to hear you going back again and again, as well as family members and colleagues and that sort of thing.